What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. And this is where we at. So yeah, apparently, we had a guy out of Texas that was, worshiping, the Ayatollah, basically. And, yeah, he had his Quran, stuff like that, he was Muslim, however you want to put it. But the thing of this is that he went out and shot up a bar in Texas full of innocent people and things like that because he was actually following the, the Ayatollah in his ways of wanting to do things. So let's go here now. Let's check this out. Quarters, nickels, and dimes.
Earlier today, one of Iran's most influential clerics called for the U.S. and Israel to be eradicated. For now tonight, the FBI is investigating a possible terror attack in Austin, Texas. A gunman killed 2 people, and then police shot and killed the suspect. Later, officials searched his home, finding an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders. CBS's Jason Allen is in Austin with the very latest. Jason, what more do we know?
Well, Jerika, the shooting started at the bar you see back behind me with the large heart. Police tonight, investigators have closed off 7 blocks of this very popular, busy entertainment district. It was filled with people early this morning when the shooting started.
Where is it? Video shows people taking cover inside a bar as a gunman fired shots toward them from the window of an SUV. Then police said he parked and got out with a rifle and started firing again. Within less than a minute, 3 police officers patrolling the busy entertainment district shot and killed the gunman. Paramedics immediately started trying to save the lives of the 19 people shot. 2 of them died. 3 more were in critical condition. Sources identified the shooter to CBS News as Ndiaga Diagne, a naturalized U.S. citizen originally from Senegal.
There were indicators that on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
The gunman, in a photo obtained by Fox News, was wearing a sweatshirt that said "Property of Allah" and had a Quran in his vehicle. Investigators searching his home north of Austin found an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders, according to officials close to the investigation.
This is what keeps the intelligence community up at night. Not people directly associated with terrorist groups, but people who become inspired because of things that are happening in the world.
And we're learning more about the gunman tonight. He entered the country in 2000, became a citizen in 2013, had 1 arrest here in Texas in 2022 related to an accident with injuries. And officials tell us he did have a history of mental health conditions.
So he had a history of mental health conditions. Been here since what? What did he say? 20. Hold on. What did he say?
2000, became a citizen.
Been here since 2000. So he's been here 20 something years. Got a citizenship in 13. Now, I get it. Some people would sit there and say, well, if we hadn't went in Iran and things like that, he would have never done nothing like this. No, I don't think so. Because what they, clearly found in his domicile was, pictures and things like that. And they found, information of him, from my standpoint of him worshiping the Ayatollah, not Allah. Now, I think the mask was hiding behind the, religious aspect of, what the Muslim, religion is. But I think that he would have done something regardless at some point, regardless of what just happened here. Now, he has been over here for a long time, probably got into a few little scrapes from what they were saying here. So he was on the radar. But also the issue is, even being a naturalized citizen, how is it possible, that these people are getting hold to firearms legally? And this is the thing here. I understand that, being naturalized and stuff like that, you do have the rights, kind of implemented upon you that natural born American citizens, kind of have. And I just find it wild out here that we are dealing with this situation. Shout out to all the people that lost their lives senselessly in this crazy situation because this idiot decided to go out and do something that, you know, he thought was justified because, you know, the person that he was worshiping, you know, got taken down because he was a tyrant over a bunch of people in a whole country. Let's keep going here, man. This is wild out here. This is wild, man. It's always more on the bottom line. Jesus, man, this is crazy. So we're going to go here and see what's going on. Obviously, this footage was captured right outside the bar. Let's go here now.
I heard about a dozen, probably a few dozen shots ring out. Couldn't really even pinpoint where they were coming from. And honestly, we couldn't even comprehend that they were shots. There were probably 15, 20 people in this food truck, and no one was panicking, screaming, and running. People thought maybe it's fireworks or maybe it's like a motorcycle.
Oh my God! Fuck! Oh God! Oh.
I see cops running everywhere.
Oh my God! What is going on?
And at that point, I get my camera out to record what's going on. And then I capture the suspect walks towards Buford's with his gun pointed at the officers, and the officers fire back and neutralize the situation. The shooter was walking towards where I was and towards where the bar was, where there could have been 10 times as much damage if he'd gone back to the bar where hundreds of students were hiding. So I'm just very grateful for the heroic police officers who were able to stop the suspect.
So we clearly see here. Hold on, my bad.
You guys know the spelling of his name, or do you need?
Sorry, I didn't mean to go into all that, but we clearly see the situation here at hand. This guy is a true terrorist, and we can't sit here and blame this situation strictly on the fact that, you know, Trump and Israel liberated the citizens of Iran, because the citizens are not the ones that are picking up the guns and picking up, you know, the rhetoric and stuff like that. We clearly see they're celebrating for the liberation. It's the institution that was put in place 40 something years ago that is still trying to maybe fight and spew the rhetoric. And that's what this guy here was a part of. The indoctrination of that regime. And that's the reason why he did what he did and put himself out there. I guess he thought this was his moment to shine and hold up for his ideology and, you know, take revenge for his Ayatollah and make sure that he, you know, because he was already here on American soil. And I guess when it went down and he heard the news and stuff like that, he thought that probably this was his time to, you know, make his move and do his thing, which is ridiculous and crazy. Like I said, I'm able to separate the thing. I'm able to separate, you know, people that are Muslim that, you know, actually follow the Quran and, you know, that live peacefully and want the best life and want peace and things like that, versus the radicals and things like that. Just like we got radicals, you know what I'm saying? We have radicals in our politics and all types of stuff. So it's not like they don't have radicals either. And we have to understand that there is going to be a separation. Now, this guy was indoctrinated. He was part of a cult. He worshiped the Ayatollah, not what the Prophet Muhammad was saying. So, you know, let's just keep going. It is what it is out here, people.
This morning, authorities searching for the motive behind a deadly shooting rampage in Texas. According to sources, the alleged shooter named Jaga Jania, shown in this photo obtained by ABC News, wearing clothing referencing both Allah and Iran.
There were indicators that on the subject and in his vehicle that indicate potential nexus to terrorism.
The 53-year-old alleged shooter was a naturalized U.S. citizen
53.
originally from Senegal. The shooting began shortly before 2 a.m. Sunday around Buford's Beer Garden on 6th Street, located on a popular strip in downtown Austin.
You know, I saw people around me getting hit, and that's when I kind of realized like it was like targeted at us, like as in the crowd.
According to authorities, the suspect drove around the block several times before firing out the window.
Drove around 7 times. So not only did he make up his mind first to leave the house and go there, he thought about it. Drove around 7 times. Allegedly, this is what they're saying in the report here, that he drove around 7 times before he fired the first shot out of the vehicle with the handgun, from what we've seen in the first report. So, you know, he had time to think about it and renege on his thought process to not do this. And he went forth with it anyway.
He never entered the bar. Like I said, he drove by, was firing outside the window with a pistol.
He then parked his car and reemerged with a rifle. This video appearing to show the moment the suspect is gunned down by police. Nathan Como took that video.
They saved a lot of people by catching the shooter right before he got back to the bar.
The shooting leaving 2 people dead and 14 others injured.
There is no question in my mind that the quick response of the police officers and of our EMS personnel and those professionals made a difference and saved lives.
Overnight, investigators raided the home of the alleged shooter just 30 minutes north of here, and we're told that inside his apartment they found an Iranian flag and pictures of Iranian leaders.
So found an Iranian flag, pictures of Iranian leaders, not, you know, anything about the Prophet Muhammad, nothing like that. So he was actually in the cult of the Iranian leaders and stuff like that. And that's what I was trying to, you know, say this whole time in this broadcast and things like that. It had nothing to do with the religion that, you know, is in place here, that it, you know, that's going on. He worshiped the Ayatollah and the thought process that they had going on. Now, they used the Quran in the wrong way and stuff like that, just like a lot of religions use, you know, Christians have used the Bible in the wrong way. And as a Christian, I'm telling you, it's happened. You know, we have, you know, these crazy pastors out here. Why you think, you know, Drewski had so many problems out here when he made that skit? So, you know, I'm just being honest here. But in this particular situation, man, it's very sad. Shout out to all the people that have lost their lives for this senseless act and injured and everything. You know, it's crazy out here. But this is the issue when we have also, you know, 21st century immigration and allowing people over here and things like that. And also to not being able to foresee the threats that are already over here from whenever things pop off. You know, it's sad and it's highly disrespectful that these people had to perish and stuff for something that they weren't even engaged in. But, you know, shout out to the people of Iran and thank God they have their liberation from the tyrant and his regime. Hopefully, you know, things smooth out over there and they can get their country, you know, back and do the things that they want to do as the people of their country. So, yeah, man, it's crazy out here, but it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.